Hi, this is Denise Bossert, and I'd like to talk to you about visiting the Holy Land on your own. Today we're going to talk about renting a car. And it is possible to rent a car. You can rent a car from the airport, Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv. You can rent a car from any of the major cities as well, which is what I did last time. So when I arrived at the airport, I had the option of renting a car there. It's a little bit of an upcharge to rent from the airport. So I took the bus. There is a bus from the airport to Jerusalem. So I took that bus. It doesn't cost very much at all. And once I arrived in Jerusalem, I went to my hotel. And the next morning, I wanted to go to Tiberias. So in order to get to Tiberias, you have two options. You can either take the bus. There is a bus that goes from Jerusalem to Tiberias, or you can rent a car. Now, the really great news about renting a car is all of the names that you recognize here as car rental options, you will have there. So if you'd like to rent a car, whether in one of these major towns, cities, or at the airport, you can choose Enterprise or Hertz or Thrifty. And when I was in the Holy Land in February, I used Thrifty, and it worked seamlessly. It was really close. The Thrifty car rental was really close to the Leonardo Plaza Hotel in Jerusalem, which is where I stayed when I was in Jerusalem. And so that is where I picked up my car, and I drove it to Tiberias. I was able to use my own driver's license, my U.S. driver's license, and it wasn't that expensive. And it really frees you up to go to wherever you want to go, spend as much time as you want to spend at each of those places. And I really like having a car in the Galilee so I can get to all of the places around the Sea of Galilee. Not so much in Jerusalem. In Jerusalem, you can take a taxi, you can walk if you're close enough. Leonardo Plaza and some of the other really nice hotels are really close to the old city, so you don't really need a car in Jerusalem. So when I got to Tiberias, I had a car and I went to all of the places along the Sea of Galilee. In fact, I drove all around the Sea of Galilee. So there's a road that goes all the way around, and one afternoon that is what I did, and it was the best experience. On the other side of the Sea of Galilee, you can stop at the Peace Observatory and you can see many of the classic sites. Like you can see Mount Arbel from the other side of the Sea of Galilee. You can even see Mount Tabor, really in the distance, even beyond. It is a phenomenal thing. You can see the Golan Heights, lots of things. So it's a really fantastic option, is to be able to rent a car and drive around the Sea of Galilee. Now, I was going to drive that car back to Jerusalem, but I decided that I would take the bus back to Jerusalem just to see what that's like, so I could tell you about it. So instead of driving the car back to Jerusalem, I went to Thrifty and I dropped off the car and I took the bus. It's really a fantastic option in Tiberias to do this, because the Thrifty car rental place is like a block, if that, from the bus station. So I was able to drive to Thrifty, drop off my car, and take my luggage right over to the bus station, and then take the bus to Jerusalem, which was really easy to do. I think next time when I go, I probably will not rent a car in Jerusalem to drive to Tiberias. I probably will take the bus from Jerusalem to Tiberias and the bus from Tiberias back to Jerusalem. But while I'm in Tiberias and staying, I will rent a car there to drive around the Sea of Galilee. And while I was there, I checked it out, and you can rent Enterprise and Hertz and Thrifty. Any of those are also in Tiberias. So once you get there, you can rent your car there. And so next time I go, I have a few more tips on what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. And I know where I'm going to stay. And I know that I'm going to take a bus to get there, a bus to get back to Jerusalem. But while I'm in the Galilee, rent a car. And rent a car from a place that you know. So I liked Thrifty while I was there. It was a great experience. And but you know what? There's also Enterprise and there's also Hertz. So I may be trying them next time. So good luck on your visit to the Holy Land, and I really encourage you to try to go to the Holy Land on your own, especially if you've already done a pilgrimage there. Consider making it a personal retreat and go back to those places that you have fallen in love with. And this time, you can spend as much time as you want there by the luxury of having your own rental car. A couple real quick things. There's watch for passing cars, because they don't really have this rule of, oh, don't pass, you know, on an incline or whatever. So be careful about that in areas where you can't see whether or not someone's coming up over the hill. And the colors of the lines are a little bit different. So instead of a yellow line dividing traffic going two different directions, it's white. Well, in the United States, if you have a white line, then you're going the same direction. Both lanes are going the same direction. That's not the way it is in Israel. So just two little things, easy to pick up. It's not as difficult as driving, for example, in England, where you're on the other side of the road. So driving in Israel is really easy, and it is beautiful, and it is a faith-filled experience to be able to take your time and to go where you want and stay as long as you want. So, shalom and blessings on your journey.